Erica Parsons should have been an ordinary American teenage girl, going to school, playing sports, hanging out with friends, gossiping about boys they liked. This should have been what her formative teenage years should have looked like. Instead, at the tender age of just 13 years old, Erica Parsons ended up in a plastic tub buried on a rural South Carolina property. But how did she get there? What unfortunate events caused a completely innocent and pure young girl to meet such a senseless and traumatic end? Erica Parsons' life is full of tragedy, beginning even before she was born. Her mother, Carolyn, was living in Concord, North Carolina, and married at the time to her husband. However, after becoming pregnant during an affair with her lover, her husband left her and took their 3 other children with him. Now left with no money, home, or job, Erica's biological mother wanted her daughter to have a better future than she had growing up. Because her childhood consisted of moving from shelter to shelter, spread amongst periods of being homeless and abused by different men in her life, Carolyn knew she did not want that for Erica. She thought that the best way to ensure her daughter could have a happy childhood would be in the care of someone other than herself. She soon found a home for her daughter when her brother, Sandy Parsons, opted for him and his wife, Casey Parsons, to adopt the child legally. After about 18 months of navigating the legal system, the couple could officially call Erica their own in the spring of 2000. For the next 13 years, little about what went on at the Parson household would come out until one day in July 2013, the couple's oldest son, Jamie, got into a heated altercation with his parents. After they threw him out of the house, Jamie stormed off and, according to Casey, wanted to get revenge on his parents for kicking him out. What he would tell police was shocking and would be the catalyst for the rest of the story to unfold. According to Jamie, he claimed that his adoptive sister Erica had not been seen since December 2011. He claimed that she was dead and his parents had killed her. When police questioned him about how he knew that, he claimed that on the morning of December 18, 2011, he awoke to find Erica not in the home. This was unusual since their mother never allowed her to leave the house for any reason, and her not being there was out of the ordinary. When he asked his mom about her absence, she claimed that she had to live with her biological grandmother at her Asheville, North Carolina home. He thought this was strange and noted that his father also exhibited peculiar behavior, namely that all the color from his face was gone. When pressed further about how he knew Erica was dead, Jamie declined to give details on how he knew or why he thought his parents had killed her. When questioned again later on, Jamie would recant his original claim that his parents had killed Erica. Instead, he would just reiterate that she was missing and that no one had seen her since December 2011. Though Jamie changed his original story, police and Child Protective Services thought it plausible enough to investigate the parents and inquire about the welfare of their adoptive daughter. When police interviewed the parents at their home, the father, Sandy, reiterated a similar story that his son had told police earlier. He claimed that his daughter had been in contact with her maternal grandmother, Irene Goodman, also known as Nana, and that she left to go live with her in Asheville. When police and Child Protective Services asked why they were still receiving financial aid for Erica's care, namely Social Security, Medicare, and food stamps, Sandy had an answer for that too. She claimed that it was because they were forwarding all the money they received to Nana's house in Asheville. When asked for her address, he could not provide it and instead said they would have to talk to his wife, Casey, about it. When police interviewed Casey for the first time, her story was similar to her husband's in that she claimed Erica had left home in December 2011 to live with Nana, Erica's maternal grandmother. When police asked her how she knew this woman was her grandmother, Casey claimed that Nana had reached out to her via Facebook and messaged her, saying that she wanted to get to know her granddaughter. According to Casey, after messaging back and forth for several months, she became convinced that this woman was indeed her grandmother and decided to let Erica message her as well. Once Erica started messaging Nana, according to Casey, the two formed a powerful bond. Casey claimed that Erica loved horses and horseback riding. Nana had a massive property with a horse stable in her Asheville, North Carolina ranch. Once Casey had set up a face-to-face meeting with Nana sometime in the summer of 2011, Erica said she wanted to live with Nana. At this time, police were skeptical of her story and decided to leave it be for now. After this first interview, local police decided they needed to dig into Irene Goodman and generate a list of follow-up questions for an additional interview in the coming days. During this time, before the following interview, the couple's oldest daughter would claim years later that Casey was absolutely furious at Jamie for exposing her. She would claim their mother would call and threaten him to shut his fucking mouth about what had happened to Erica. However, police did not know about these phone calls then, and were preparing for another round of interviews on July 31st, 2013. During this next interview, police asked Casey several pointed questions that she did not have a good answer for. One of the most telling questions was why all of Erica's clothing and belongings were at the house if she went to live with a relative. After all, if she were to move somewhere else, she would have to take her stuff with her. Casey said that they had, in fact, packed her belongings into a suitcase and brought them with them when Casey went to deliver Erica to Nana's care at the McDonald's parking lot. However, Casey said that Nana had bought Erica a bunch of new clothes and that she no longer needed her old stuff. Because of that, Casey took her belongings back home with her. Not pleased with this response, but not wanting to tip her off their suspicion, detectives pushed further to see how far Casey could dig herself into this lie. Police and Child Protective Services asked her if she had been in contact with Erica over the past 18 months, and Casey claimed that she had been messaging her on Facebook from time to time. When a caseworker asked her to show Erica's Facebook profile, she could not find it. Casey then claimed that she had spoken with Erica several times on the phone since she left to go live with Nana. Casey said that Erica was well on these calls, but that she'd stopped returning her calls after a while. Then she said within the past 6 months, the phone number Erica used to call them suddenly became disconnected. When she tried calling again recently, Casey said someone else picked up who had no connection to Nana or Erica, and that this was his new number. Casey would go on to say that before her number had been disconnected, Erica had invited all of them to her 14th birthday party, but then had changed her mind about her family coming and had uninvited all of them. Police also questioned Erica's father, Sandy, about the lack of contact between Erica and the family. Sandy said he was not worried that he'd not spoken with his daughter in over a year, since she was just being a rebellious teenager and would contact them eventually. Sandy claimed that she was in good hands with Nana, despite him nor his wife physically seeing her since 2011. After these first 2 interviews, the police knew something was seriously wrong here. A teenage girl who apparently went to live with her grandmother, has not been seen or had contact with her family for 18 months, was undoubtedly out of the ordinary. Their suspicions would only grow after doing some more digging into Nana and the relationship the Parsons had with their daughter. When police interviewed Erica's biological mother, Carolyn, she told them that Irene Goodman was, in fact, a real person, but that she had passed away several years ago. It would have been impossible for Erica to have lived with her. Her mother also pointed out that she had attempted to contact her daughter through Casey, but that Casey did not want her to have anything to do with Erica. Suspicion further mounted when police interviewed the Parson children and other relatives about Erica's relationship with her parents. According to Jamie, Casey and Sandy abused her terribly. He said Casey would often bend Erica's fingers back so much that they would break. He said his mother would also force her to place her hands over the flame on the stove. Jamie also recounted that their mother would beat her mercilessly with a belt. Jamie also said that Casey would force her to eat dog food and make Erica sleep on the floor. He also claimed their mother would punish her each day by making her stand in a closet for hours and days on end. Often, Casey would enter the closet to beat Erica, especially when she relieved herself in the closet, because Casey would refuse to let her use a bathroom. Her brother Jamie claimed further that their mother would abuse Erica so badly to require medical treatment, but that she would not take her to a doctor. On one occasion, he claimed that he broke her arm at his mother's direction when Erica was being too loud. She then forced him to go to Walmart and buy medical supplies so she could make a cast for Erica's arm. Casey did make a cast and set the broken arm, but Jamie said Casey did not do it right, and her arm would forever be disfigured as a result. The horrible abuse that Erica suffered at the hands of her mother was echoed by other family members too. Casey's own mother stated during her interview that she frequently witnessed the abuse Casey put her daughter through. She stated that Casey often forced Erica to live in a hallway or bedroom closet most of the day as punishment for some infraction she had done. She too claimed that Casey would beat Erica inside the closet. If Casey did not put Erica inside the closet, her mother said she would also force her to stand in the corner by the Parson household TV. According to her mother, Casey was quite open about beating and abusing her child. Oftentimes, she would hit or choke Erica in her presence. When this happened, she would leave since it made her uncomfortable. Just like Jamie, she also said that Erica never slept in her own bed, but instead slept on the ground like a dog. She also said Erica always smelled horrible since her mother refused to let her bathe. Her mother also corroborated that Casey bent Erica's fingers back constantly, since, in her own words, her hands always looked gnarled. Casey's mother also provided good insight into how this abuse had gone unreported for so long. According to her, she withdrew all her children from public school early on in their lives and homeschooled them. However, she did not teach them anything, and instead just took all the online tests for them. By doing this, she could shield Erica from any prying eyes of teachers or administrators that otherwise would have ratted her out to the police long ago. Erica's adoptive sisters also had similar statements of abuse. According to them, their mother would make Erica eat out of dog food or cat food cans. They would try to sneak her scraps of food, but if they got caught, their mother would just beat Erica for accepting it. Because of this, Erica was forced to eat food scraps out of the garbage when everyone was asleep to avoid starving to death. They also claimed that their father, Sandy, would sometimes join in on the abuse. Though Casey was the primary aggressor, Sandy sometimes hit Erica in the head and face with a closed fist. He would also viciously spank her and was verbally and psychologically abusive toward her. All of this testimony helped corroborate Jamie's statement about Erica's last known day alive. On December 17, 2011, Jamie said that Erica was stuffed inside the bedroom closet, was covered in infected wounds, and her back resembled Jesus' back during his torture and execution. Jamie also said that her skin had been turning black, she was pretty weak, and she had complained of being unable to breathe. When she told her mother this, Casey responded by telling her to shut the fuck up and get back in the corner. After compiling pages upon pages of damning testimony about Erica's abuse, police conducted the third interview with Casey. She did claim that there were several times she did bend Erica's fingers back, but that she did not break them. She also confirmed the story about her arm being broken at home, but that it was all Jamie's fault. Casey also admitted to briefly choking Erica for about 5 to 10 seconds. When asked why she did these things, she merely said it was a stupid choice she regretted. She then terminated any further interviews, and soon afterward, the couple retained a lawyer. Perhaps in their most audacious move yet, the couple decided that to get the police off their back and clear their name, the best thing they could do was to appear on the Dr. Phil show about their case. Why they thought that going on national television when they were being investigated for such a serious crime is beyond a normal person's comprehension. But as one can see from their past behavior, this couple is anything but normal. During the show, the production crew and Dr. Phil extensively researched the case's claims and facts. Dr. Phil could find no evidence that this so-called Nana ever existed. They too came to the same conclusion that the real Irene Goodman had died before Erica allegedly went with her to stay at her in her Asheville home. Dr. Phil also echoed many of the same sentiments that police had toward the couple, namely that it was quite odd for them to have no contact with her during all this time. The Parsons simply repeated the same statements about the phone number not working, and that Erica was just a rebellious teenager who would contact them eventually. Perhaps the most intriguing new development in the case was the polygraph examination the show's resident polygraph expert conducted. Casey claimed on the test day that she was experiencing severe pain. Even after the production team offered for her to take her pain medication and take the test the following day, she refused to do so. While this could be explained away as a blatant attempt to delay the test, Casey did have a host of medical issues that could cause her to feel severe pain. Her husband, on the other hand, was a different story. Sandy did take the polygraph exam, and the results should not surprise anyone. When asked if he had caused his daughter's disappearance or planned the disappearance, he answered no to both questions. Of course, he was deceptive, and by a long shot. He needed a -4 to be considered deceptive, and scored a -9. In the examiner's words, such a result was evidence of extreme deception. Their defense attorney claimed that perhaps Sandy did not understand the question, but how could the question of, "Did you cause the disappearance of your daughter?" be any clearer? Nevertheless, the couple refused to finish the show and returned to North Carolina. Upon their arrival, state and federal law enforcement officials were waiting with a search warrant for their house. What they would find would further cement the allegations already against them. The police had a warrant to gather any proof as to the whereabouts of Erica Parsons. During their search of the home, they found all her belongings there, as the couple had stated during their first round of interviews. Wanting more evidence, they also searched the bedroom and hallway closets to see if they could find anything. What they found in the bedroom closet was shocking. Stained into the carpet of the closet were multiple large bloodstains. Police took samples of the carpet for analysis. DNA analysis confirmed that Erica's, Casey's, and Sandy's DNA was present in all the samples, but that Erica's DNA was the primary donor. The police also took samples from what appeared to be bloodstains on a wall and another section of the bedroom. These also tested positive for DNA, but the police could not determine if the majority donor was Erica. Despite the police not finding a smoking gun or Erica, the evidence they did find significantly substantiated the statements of abuse other family members had given. Perhaps because of this, the U.S. Attorney's Office decided to pursue criminal charges for what they could prove, while state police continued their investigation into the disappearance and possible homicide of Erica Parsons. Because the Parsons couple had continued to receive federal adoption benefits, health care, and food stamps for a child no longer in their custody, the federal government went after them for what they could prove. Local prosecutors, in conjunction with the U.S. Attorney's Office, prosecuted them for mail fraud, since they'd used the postal system to send and receive benefits. Almost a year after the start of the investigation into the disappearance of Erica, Casey pleaded guilty to all the charges related to the benefits fraud and received a 10-year sentence. Sandy opted for a jury trial, and because of this, the public could see the true character of this nasty, bottom-feeding couple. Prosecutors decided to present evidence not only about the benefits fraud the couple perpetrated regarding Erica, but the years of scams the duo had run to show just how conniving the pair really were. One of the saddest scams the prosecution brought up was the pregnancy scam the couple perpetrated while legally adopting Erica. Casey had posted ads online stating that she would give up her baby for adoption if she paid $10,000. Numerous couples responded to the ad, stating that they would indeed pay her the $10,000 if they would allow them to adopt the baby. However, once Casey had taken one couple's money, she said she had a miscarriage. When the couple tried to contact the Parsons, Casey refused to answer calls and sent hateful emails to the hopeful parents. After scamming the first couple, Casey and Sandy would go on to entertain other offers of cash from other prospective parents. After swindling the mother who donated her eggs to be used for the birth, Casey stole money from 2 other couples. Despite the lies regarding the adoption, Casey was indeed pregnant. The first couple reported the theft to the police and gained a court order granting them full legal custody of the child after Casey gave birth. But that would not be the end to the known history of Parsons' family scams. Another one of their frauds was their eBay store scam. Often, Casey would list items for sale on the site and then not ship items or would severely misrepresent the items sold. It's known that Casey carried on this scam for years and was one of the family's primary sources of side income. Even after attempting to ban her, Casey would create multiple accounts to continue her fraud. While certainly less nefarious than the surrogate mother scam, the eBay fraud would show her propensity toward defrauding others. These examples were aggravating factors that weighed into her 10-year sentence even after pleading guilty. In regards to the benefits fraud, Sandy opted to take his chances at trial. The state charged him with 43 offenses relating to the benefits fraud, and at trial, the jury convicted him of most charges. When the judge imposed the sentence on him, he made statements that not only were the couple serial swindlers, but that there was serious doubt that their daughter Erica was still even alive. Though not a part of the trial itself, the judge allowed evidence about the abuse Erica had suffered into the sentencing phase to enhance it. After considering all the evidence, the judge awarded Sandy 8 years in federal lockup for his role in the fraud. After the Parsons had been sentenced for their fraud scheme in the spring of 2015, the couple continued to serve their federal sentences in different prisons. Casey went to Texas and then Florida, while Sandy stayed local in North Carolina. Despite the couple being locked up, the search for Erica did not end. State and federal authorities continued to follow up on leads about the missing girl's whereabouts. Locals also fundraised to pay for a leading search dog company to search the area around the Parsons family home. All of these efforts would not get anyone closer to finding Erica. However, these setbacks did not stop the couple's daughter, Robin, and her aunt, Sandy's sister, from trying to get information from Erica's father. Over the next 18 months, the two would frequently visit Sandy in federal lockup. They often pleaded with them to give them information about the whereabouts of Erica and what had happened to her. It's unclear why Sandy chose to talk to them eventually. Perhaps he thought he would get off easy because Casey was the mastermind. Or maybe he just had a guilty conscience after all these years about what they'd done to her. No matter the reason, by August 2016, he said he was ready to talk and would show investigators where her body was in exchange for a deal. Robin quickly went to the FBI with this information. Soon, with the approval of Rowan County prosecutors, detectives offered him a deal in exchange for telling his side of the story and showing them where her remains were. What came out of his mouth next was truly more horrific than they ever could have imagined. According to Sandy, he woke up the morning of December 18, 2011, to his wife Casey telling him that Erica was dead and that they had to do something with her. When he asked what had happened, Casey said she had killed herself by overdosing on sleep medication. Sandy then decided he needed to hide her while they figured out their next move. He folded Erica's frail body into 2 large garbage bags. He then placed her inside a large plastic tub. But before he did so, Casey went out and bought bleach and poured it all over Erica to prevent her from smelling. Once this was complete, the couple hid the body in the house for a whole day. The other children in the home walked past the body all day, unaware of its grisly contents. After waiting a day, the couple decided to get the body out of the house. Sandy said they should bury it on his mother's rural property just over the state line in South Carolina, and Casey agreed. The couple then made the several-hour drive to the property, and Sandy went to work on digging the grave. After a short while, Casey came to help place Erica in the shallow grave. After the couple did this, the two went to a local gas station where Sandy threw her clothes away into a dumpster. He then broke the plastic tube into pieces and placed the pieces in the dumpster as well. With that, they returned to their home and told everyone that Erica had gone to live with the mysterious Nana. Not wanting to confront Casey without damning physical evidence, the police and prosecutors petitioned to have Sandy lead them to the body. A judge quickly agreed, and soon they were on their way to solve a disappearance that had captivated the country. When Sandy got to his mother's property, he led the team down a dirt road and pointed off to the side where she was buried. Police could see an abnormally large dirt pile that looked unnatural. At the sight of it, Sandy began to cry uncontrollably. However, these tears were not for Erica. They were for himself at having been caught. Investigators soon excavated the gravesite and found Erica's battered body. The autopsy would show just how much violence Erica suffered at the hands of her parents. According to the medical examiner, Erica had a broken nose, broken teeth, and numerous broken ribs on both sides. Erica had one broken finger at the time of her death, and the other fingers showed signs of healing. The broken arm incident Jamie described was substantiated during her autopsy, and that the upper left bone on her arm was indeed still broken. Erica also suffered a broken shoulder blade and broken back. For the medical examiner, he believed that these injuries could have resulted from post-mortem injuries, but was not entirely sure. The doctor determined that Erica was suffering from severe infections at the time of her death, which corroborated statements from family members that she appeared quite ill. The medical examiner was unclear about what exactly caused Erica's death, but knew it was murder. Because of this, her official cause of death was undetermined, with the manner of death being homicidal violence of unknown means. Police now had all they needed to ensnare Casey in their trap. A month after Sandy had led police to her body, investigators questioned her once more about Erica's disappearance. She continued to claim the same stories as before. Erica went to live with Nana and said that she was okay. When police confronted her about Sandy leading them to her body and what the medical examiner had found, she finally changed her story. Now, according to Casey, Erica had never, in fact, gone to live with Nana. Instead, she said that on the night she died, Erica had told her she was going to hang herself and asked her for a rope. Casey refused, and she said her husband told her to shut up or he would go and get her a rope himself. After this exchange, Casey said Erica went to sleep on the couch where she usually slept, and they went off to bed. In the morning, she awoke to find Erica not on the couch and went looking for her. She then claimed she found Erica had hanged herself in a closet with a dog leash. She said that her husband pulled her down, and then they panicked and had to hide the body. Of course, her story seems obviously fake. For one, everyone reported that Casey forced Erica to sleep on the floor. Secondly, and what's more likely believable, Casey did cause her death and then roped her husband into the cover-up. While she gave conflicting claims about how Erica died, with her telling her husband she overdosed on pills, and then investigators that she hung herself, perhaps she inadvertently gave away how she caused her death, that is, by strangling her with a dog leash. Despite her story missing key facts and coming short of actually describing how and why she killed her, she would eventually make a plea deal for first-degree murder, child abuse, and abandonment of a corpse. During her sentencing hearing, Casey pled guilty to all charges against her. It's strange why she never admitted exactly how or why she killed Erica, since her confession to police would not support first-degree murder. However, she still decided to plead guilty to it. Unfortunately for the world and those that loved Erica, they would never get any details out of Casey. This is because, during her sentencing, Casey only made a short statement stating that she was sorry and that she had failed Erica terribly. She also wanted to apologize to her family and named all her close relatives except her husband and son Jamie. Obviously, she must have felt great anger at those two, since they were the ones who brought her evil crimes to light. Even though Casey never gave the world the satisfaction of knowing the whole truth, the world can take comfort that the judge did not pity her. He sentenced Casey to life without parole for her murder and gave her a combined 20-year sentence for the other charges to be served after her life sentence. Even once Casey had been convicted, court proceedings continued for Sandy. About 6 months later, in December 2019, Sandy finally got sentenced for his role in the murder. Because of his extensive cooperation, the prosecution dropped the first-degree murder charge and instead charged him with second-degree murder. The judge accepted the plea agreement and sentenced him to serve a minimum of 33 years and a maximum of 45 years in a North Carolina state prison. While the prison sentences are warranted for the couple, perhaps one of the saddest and most underreported parts of this case was that so many people knew of the abuse, but did nothing to stop it. Not only did all the children know about it, but multiple adults within the Parsons family regularly witnessed both parents abusing Erica. No one was ever charged with their failure to report the abuse. The family also never got the consolation of why Casey hated Erica so much and why she had to kill her. It was a common fact that Erica was the only child that was abused in the household, and so many others also knew that Casey abused the girl for as long as anyone could remember. In trying to explain why his wife could have done it, Sandy offered a half-hearted excuse that because of Casey's opioid addiction, she simply was not herself when she abused Erica. While plenty of people in this world suffering from addiction do not commit these kinds of crimes, this, if true, still does nothing to impact the severity of the crimes. Why she had to do such things to this child will only truly be known to Casey. But there is a good theory as to why. Because Casey supported herself mostly through scams, she saw the opportunity to adopt a baby as the perfect way to get guaranteed income for the next 18 years. She probably convinced her husband that it was a good idea to adopt his sister's child, and they could just take the assistance they received for her for themselves. Casey probably had regrets that her scam involved actually having to take care of a child that was not her own, and became angry at that fact. Not wanting to care for her any longer, if you could even call it that, she opted to kill her and continue collecting her benefits. While this is just a theory, it makes the most sense when looking at Casey's fraud history. But while the full truth will likely never be known, one can rest assured that Erica is in a much better place than she was before, and that her parents will continue to suffer for the rest of their miserable lives until they too die alone, as Erica did.